Hey everybody, it's Marvina, and today my presentation is about how to clear evil spirits from your house. So I know for a lot of you that have experienced significant traumas in your house, maybe like a death of a special loved one, murder or suicide, that this subject is very important to you. So I really want to do my best today to give you some good information that can help you to turn the energy around in your house and to banish out any negative entities or evil spirits or negative energies or thought forms. So this is not really something that you do in a 5-minute ceremony or a 1 hour ceremony. It might take some dedication and some consistent effort to shift the energy in your house so that it is no longer a place where evil spirits can thrive or want to be around, like it no longer feeds them. As long as the energy or the people in the house or that combination are offering them like emotional energy to thrive on, then evil spirits and entities, they have no reason to leave your house. And for a lot of you, I know that one of the reasons that you want to shift the energy in the house is so that you can actually sell the house and make it more desirable for other people to want to live there. So just know that this is a piece of business that you may have to just roll up your sleeves and kind of like dig in for the effort and know that you're chipping away at it a little bit at a time. So don't worry about taking notes today because I am going to record the video. So that way you can just relax and just trust that you're going to grasp the basic concepts, and that you can always go back and replay the video later on if you want to sort of dial in and just kind of try different parts of it. So the main thing that you want to think about is turning the tide of energy so that the whole house is vibrating with light and with love. And anytime that a house has experienced a traumatic incident like a death in the family, particularly if it's a murder or a suicide, or worse yet, a combination of murder-suicide, then you're really going to need to pull out all stops to clear the energy template. If somebody dies in the house and they die a natural death, and it's like the family, the household have had plenty of time to get used to the idea, it doesn't traumatize the house nearly like it would if there was a violent death or a suicide. So you still might need to put out some effort to clear up the energy in the house, but it won't be as difficult to do. Evil entities, I think most of the time, are involved when you have a situation like a murder or a suicide. I think you're going to have a possibility of evil entities that have somehow or another been a part that contributed to that situation. So you have to clear those entities out of your space in order for the rest of the family to be able to live there. And if you don't do that, then you run the risk of people not being able to sleep properly or to get rest. Any pets or children in the family, they might totally avoid that area of the house where all of the violence occurred. And it seems like your luck might be just totally going downhill. The other people in the house are getting sick, or they just can't seem to stay healthy. They can't seem to focus on their education or keep a job. You might experience bad luck or just this horrible sense of doom and depression just stays in the house and it lingers over everybody. You might feel like you've got a black cloud that just follows you around. And that is quite often what it feels like if there are evil entities in the household that are stalking the members of your home. So you really need to take it very serious and take some strong steps to turn the energy around and to banish those evil spirits from your life and from your house. I really feel like when we come into this dimension, we are using our whole time here to learn to step up into higher levels of self-mastery. And a lot of my programs that I talk about are how we can be more make more of a declaration to step into higher aspects of ourself, including self-mastery and self-awareness. And we really have to pull on this when we get ready to banish an evil spirit or negative energy or negative entities from our house, because we have to know that we are an aspect of the divine mind. We're a part of creation and of the Holy Spirit. And because of that, it gives us confidence and it helps to claim our I am status. And it just makes it easier for us to kind of step into our power and be able to do this. So you really have to have that kind of confidence and that kind of I am connection in order to be able to engage with the dark side and to get what you want done, to be able to get it done. So I think whenever you get ready to do battle with the dark side, that you want to go into this with a clear mind and fresh energy. It's not something that you really want to do at the end of the workday where you might be tired. And I think it's always a great idea to do some sorts of personal ceremony before, like some prayers, and just to gather your thoughts and to really dial in your intention for your home and for your personal energy field, and create a bond with the Holy Spirit. Call upon your most holy guardian angels, your entire spirit guides, guidance team. And I would also call in the archangel realm, and especially those who deal with negative energies and negative entities. And you can just do like a little angelic ceremony to prepare yourself. So you might have a candle that you light, burn some incense. You can have a little bit of white sage and cedar in your ceremony, and have like a cup of water and maybe a crystal to represent the element of earth, so that all of the elements are represented and kind of in an equal way. And I think this is it's like a helpful kind of a platform that makes you feel more connected to the elements of the earth and to the aspect of you that is divine and that is internal or eternal. And it helps you to kind of consolidate your power in a good way. So when I get ready to do a banishing and I know that it is a really icky circumstance, there's likely going to be evil entities, I will use my pendulum to, first of all, check out the degree of evil that might be present in the house, because there are all sorts of levels of entities, all the way from just mildly mischievous to what you would think of as a negative energy or NT, or a dark lord, or a lesser demon, or a full demon, or an arch demon. So I do want to warn you on one aspect, is that if you get information from your pendulum that you suspect that there is an archdemon involved, then you don't want to go forward with that. That is definitely going to be a circumstance where only an archangel is capable of doing battle with an archdemon. But the chance that an archdemon would be involved in your household circumstance is just so minute that it's just very low. Usually anything that an archdemon is going to be interested in is going to be like when you have a circumstance like where Hitler was involved with the extermination of a whole race, then you have an archdemon involved. So it's usually like world circumstance and where an archdemon might be involved. Otherwise, that they're not going to usually be in like a personal residence. But you could have a dark lord easily involved, and they are very, very significant, ugly entities. So I get as much information as I possibly can before I go to a house. And most of the time, all of my clearing is done by remote. And the reason that I can do that is because I'm able to transcend the aspect of me that is separate, and I merge and allow myself to encompass that household, that family, that situation. And I have a very specific kind of a protocol that I use when I do my soul clearing and my house clearing. And it's all done with the help of the archangels. And it makes it possible for me to work with clients all over the United States and even the world, and be able to successfully clear out negative influences from their home. But if you are wanting to work with your own house and to do this yourself, then you definitely want to do some ceremony ahead of time and ask that your angelic team work with you. And if you work with a different religion where you want to use other identities, then it's perfectly fine to use somebody in your own religion, or figures that just are meaningful to you or protective to you. So I'm just giving you an idea of what I call upon before I go into a icky circumstance. I like to use a medicine bag, and I'm going to show you my. This is one of my medicine bags, and then I have another one here. So these medicine bags were designed not just by the Native Americans, although that's the path of heart that I follow, but they're designed to carry a little bitty representation of myself and of all of my power totems that I work with. So I have a clipping of my hair in my medicine bag. I have clippings of all 10 fingers and all 10 of my toes, just a little bitty, teeny weeny clipping. And I also have some sort of representation of my power animals. So in the path that I follow, everybody, just by right of birth, we all have 8 major animal spirit guides that help us in different directions of our life. And if you don't know your animal spirit guides, just email me your birthday, just the day and the month, and I can send you back the different animal totems, like your major ones. You can also have other animal guides that will help you in other creative areas of your life. But with my birthday, I have the brown bear is my spirit keeper. I have the cougar. My clan animal is the turtle. And the spirit keeper is the coyote. I have the sturgeon. I also have a snake. And I have a little bird like a road runner. And what is the other one I forgot? Oh, the beaver is another one of my clan or my animal totems. And so I have a little bit of each one of them in my medicine bag. I mean, tiny, tiny, tiny. And so like I have a little piece of snake skin, a little tiny bit of fur off of a bear, and just all of them. I have some sort of representation. I also have some corn paho in there, some sage, cedar, sweetgrass, a little lavender, and I have, there's a lightning bark in there, and tobacco. There's something else in there. Anyhow, all of those pieces are special to my birthday, to the month and the day that I was born. And so they help to support my vibration and to keep my soul dream safe. So that's why I carry this medicine bag whenever I go into, different circumstances that might be challenging or hard for me or scary, or I might feel like I need to have a little bit of extra support. And I also carry turquoise. Turquoise is one of the most protective minerals that you can wear, but there's also other minerals that are very, very protective too. You see, I had my notes over here. So black tourmaline is very protective. Amethyst, diamonds, I think, are super protective. Obsidian, smoky quartz. There's a lot of different minerals that you could wear, but in the Native American tradition, they like to use a lot of turquoise because of the protective properties, and that's why I use it. So I have like my turquoise bracelets, I have turquoise at my throat, and a little bit of turquoise on my belt buckle. If you are to go into like New Mexico or Arizona or Utah, any time of day, you go into the Walmart or the grocery store, and especially the elders of the tribe, and they don't get to be old by being dumb usually, but they will have on turquoise on their at their throat and at their belt particularly, but usually they'll have on some sort of a bracelet or a cuff with turquoise. And this is to extend an energy field of protection that emanates around you, and it just kind of buffers you from any negative influences that might want to kind of look for a vulnerability and take advantage of your life force energy. So that's why when I go into extreme circumstances, I have on my amulets and my medicine bag and my turquoise. You can use other minerals and other ways of protecting your energy field, but this is one way that I was taught to do it. And you don't have to do it that way, but I'm just telling you that the reasons that I like to choose that. So before you go into an extreme circumstance where you feel like you have an evil entity, then you want to take some time to bless and consecrate all of your power objects that you're taking with you. So if you're going to wear a particular necklace or medicine bag or bracelets for protective reasons, then do a little ceremony to bless them, to consecrate them to your vision. What is your desire for these amulets to work for you? And just create a bond with them. So in that little ceremony, I'm going to have all of the aspects of the elements. So a candle, some incense burning, and maybe a cup of water, a bowl of water, and a crystal or a rock or a stone or something to represent the element of earth. And then I am going to represent the element of spirit descended into matter. And so you just want to bless and consecrate each of your power objects to the elements and ask that that element would imbue this bracelet or this necklace or this medicine bag with protective qualities so that it can do whatever it is that you're wanting it to do. So in some traditions, you would call that a blessing and awakening. In other traditions, you would call that a blessing and consecration. But however you do it, before you engage with evil entities, you want to prepare yourself and the objects that you're going to use within your banishing so that you feel safer, you feel more confident, you feel like you have done your due diligence to take care of business so that you can go in and be safer. Okay, so you can use a rosary, and I have used a rosary that that has been prayed over a lot, and it has a lot of protective qualities. Sorry, my nose is running all of a sudden. So a rosary or maybe a necklace with some sort of like a cross or something that feels very protective to you, like a St. Christopher medal or a St. Michael. My husband was a police officer for 30 years, and he would always carry a little card that had a prayer of St. Michael on it. And it was, for him, it was a way of, oh, excuse me. It just made him feel that by having this prayer on his being, that he is being guarded and looked over by the Archangel Michael. And I agree. So anything that feels good to you, feels empowering, then you could include that before you go into your room or the house where you feel like the entity is. Another thing that I do for the entire house is I will do a smudge of the house. And again, you can do this beforehand while you're doing your preparation. So you could have a representation of the house. So like if you don't live in that house, then you could have like a triangle piece of paper and write down the address of the house and the city, state, zip code too. And that is one way of kind of having a small representation that you can clear symbolically before you even go. And it just helps to kind of do an initial clearing before you do the finishing clearing. but I like to do a smudge mixture, and this is my smudge container. It has a lid on it, and it's a metal container. So once you get your herbs burning, you want to make sure that you set it down on a surface that is protected. So you don't want to put it down on your carpet because it will scorch the carpet, or on anything that it will burn or scorch. So make sure you've got like a pot holder or some sort of cloth, so that it doesn't burn your hand too. So if you're walking around the house with this, you want to have a cloth in your hand. Otherwise, if you've got a big house, then this container can get very, very hot. So the smudge mixture consists of herbs, and there are a lot of different herbs that you can use, but traditionally you're going to use white sage, cedar, lavender, and sweetgrass. So all of those herbs are combined in an equal amount. Each one of those herbs has a different quality that it's going, by burning it, it's going to emanate into the house. So of all of those, the cedar is the one that is the most clearing quality. It's like the one that really can do battle with ugly. The sage helps to bring clarity into the household. The sweetgrass and the lavender, they raise the vibrations of the house, and they make it conducive for the angelic realm, for the higher vibrational spirits to come into your space. So if you have a household that is vibrating to the angelic realm, the ugly spirits are not going to feel welcome. So they're going to be hightailing it because it no longer serves their purpose. So I put all of my herbs into my container, and I'm having a hard time getting it out. So I put them all in equal amounts into the smudge pot, and then you light them with your fire stick or a long lighter. So this is my fire stick. And then you just kind of blow them out, so it's no longer burning, but they're smoking. And you walk through the house. If you have a little feather that you can use, that helps to distribute the smoke around your house. So and you want to get a lot of smoke going. So don't be stingy with this. Use a good amount of your ingredients for your smudge mix, and get them really smoking, and make sure that you have something to protect your hand while you're walking around the house, if you're actually in the house. And keep your lighter on you, because sometimes the mix will go out and you need to relight it. So you don't want to have to go back to your first location. I like to start in the front door, and go from, I do a clockwise rotation. And so that is a way of sending energy out of the house. You want to have a window cracked in the room where you feel the most negativity is holding. And if you feel like there are several rooms that are affected, then you can crack some windows or open them wide. If the weather is nice, I would open them really wide. And so that is symbolically, that kind of gives the yucky stuff a place to go. It's like a direction that, so you direct them to go out the window. And that's very important too, is that they have like they know what you want them to do, and you're making it easier for them to do that. So when you're doing your smudge mixture, you want to get in all of the cracks, all of the corners of each room, under the furniture, and under the chairs, anything that is like a heavy piece of furniture, it's like try to get it under, behind, around, and especially pay attention to the corners of the room, and walk through your whole house and just make sure that you are getting some of your smoke mixture into throughout the whole entire house, like a lot of it. And if you have a particular heavy circumstance, that you really want to make sure you do this right. And then what you want to do is clean the whole house. And I told you, it's like you have to be prepared to kind of roll up your sleeves and do the work that it takes to really get this done. If there's one room that is affected by this, then you want to focus your cleaning effort in that room, but you want to clean it top to bottom. And everything in that room needs to have attention. So totally cleaned. A good solution is a bucket, like a gallon of hot water with just like 2 teaspoons of ammonia. Mix it up in there. It's a really strong cleaning detergent or cleaning agent. So any of the objects in that room that you can clean with that without ruining the surface. So like there's some things in there that you can't put that mixture on, but if you can, then you want to, clean the floor, any mirrors, the windows, the window seals, any piece of furniture in there that you can use that mix on. That helps to really turn the energy around fast. So clean is good for many, many reasons. I mean, it even says in the Bible somewhere that cleanliness is next to godliness. And I actually think that more is about health than in this circumstance, although it does apply. You want to get rid of any alcohol in your house. So if you have a bar, then I'm sorry to tell you, but alcohol vibrates at a really low frequency. And I mean, even the word alcohol relates to a negative energy. And I'm not going to say the name, but it's almost exactly like you hear it. But it vibrates to low, dense, icky negativity. And if your house has experienced a really tragic incident, then you have to take extreme measures to make sure that there is nothing in the household that an entity can use to hang on to that residence. So that means removing any alcohol from the house, even not just in the room, but in the house. So I know that seems pretty extreme, but I'm just telling you, it can keep the whole energy of your house lower. So moving on, in the room where the circumstance happened, anything that you feel, and this might be very difficult for some of you, if somebody that you loved was killed or committed suicide, some of their things, you need to examine everything, and there's some of their personal objects that you might need to either give away, throw away, maybe bury them. But if it could be that their personal objects can especially if it's something dark, like dark objects, like a diary or personal art that's really dark, or guns or things that represent violence or negativity, then you need to think about throwing it away, giving it away, selling it, destroying it, maybe burying it. But somehow or another, if you're serious about turning the tide of energy, banishing evil out of that room and out of your house, then you need to do what needs to be done. And that just, it lessens the opportunity for an ugly spirit to be able to keep a toehold in your house. So you've done that. Of course, you want to clean up anything, declutter the room, declutter your house, and this is going to help to shift the energy. Make sure everything in that room is tidy, it's folded, it's put in its proper place, it's clean. It is something that that you want to keep in the house. Let me see, what else did I want to say with that? Okay, so you've cleaned the energy of the room. So the next piece of business is that you want to have a bit of a ceremony with the person who committed suicide or who might have died and or was murdered, and you want to sort of have a, what I think of as a come to Jesus ceremony or session with them. And I know that you're going to have a lot to say, probably, but you want to do your very best to speak with your heart and to listen to what they have to say. And I know that you may feel a little bit awkward about that part, but trust me that you are a part of the divine mind, and the people that passed away or that died in that room are also a part of the divine mind. And because we have that connection to all things, we can receive their thoughts, their ideas. We have a link to them. So you want to trust that and see if you can hear or just feel or sense what it is that they're wanting to relay to you about the situation. So you want to communicate and do your best to be objective, to be forgiving, to be in your heart as much as possible, to send them loving thoughts. But the big piece of business is that you want to come to peace with what happened. And I know for a lot of you that you might not feel like you could ever really come to peace with that, but I'm just telling you that if you want to transform your house and your life and the energy of that room, whether it's because you want to live in that house and feel more peace with living in the house, or more comfortable living there, or you want to sell the house, it's very hard to sell a house that has such a negative charge. And if you want to transform that charge, then you have to get really complete with what happened. So in this circumstance that inspired me to create this video, a father murdered his daughter and then committed suicide himself, and so the rest of the family, they were just kind of left holding the bag. And of course, it's very difficult to appreciate all of that, but you have to come to peace. You have to forgive the people involved, you have to get into a state of mind where you can trust that you're going to see those spirits again, and that for whatever reason, it was a part of their soul journey and a part of your soul journey. And one of the biggest parts of your soul journey is being able to come to terms of peace with it, and call back your power, call back your soul pieces from the situation, and bless it, and bless those individuals, that they be able to go on into the light with your love, with your blessings. And that is going to help take a lot of the negativity out of the room, out of the house, out of your personal energy space. And then if there are negative entities involved, then it's going to just lessen their ability to be able to have a presence in your room or in your home. So by doing that personal ceremony, it helps to clear the air a lot, and to make the house more livable, the room more livable. After that, what you can do is ask your most holy guardian angel to show the light and help any entities that are in the room to be able to go into the light, and just let them know that this house stands for the light, and it stands for unconditional love, and that there is no place for them in this room or in this house. So you will feel a shift in the energy. Hold on a second. A lot of times when they leave the space, you're going to, you might feel like the room kind of gives a sigh. There might be a little bit of, have some phenomena that happens. So there's no rhyme or reason, because every circumstance is a little bit different. But your energy will just feel different. You will feel lighter. You might feel like there is a burden that's been lifted from the back of your shoulders. But you can use your pendulum to see if you need to do further clearing work. But a lot of times, our house energy, it depends on us to clean it and clear it on a regular basis, because our homes are susceptible to being influenced by negativity, by just all of the stuff that we have coming in all of the time. We have our computer systems, our cell phones, we have telephone systems, we have the different, our cable TV, people coming and going, maybe electric transformers. There are so many ways that ugly spirits can sort of ride into our house, and then be in a position to negatively influence us. So it's important that we clear and cleanse and update and freshen up the energy in our house on a regular basis. One of the easy ways to do that is to keep it clean and decluttered, is one way. Open a window, get fresh air moving through your house. Light a candle, keep a candle burning just from time to time, like once a week or so. Just like while you're watching TV, burn a candle and ask that the candle infuse the house with light, with healing love, and kind of send a signal to the universe that this household aligns with the light. You can run the smudge mixture through your house on a regular basis, and that helps to keep the energy high, clear, and pure. There are, let me see, I have my notes here. Oh, another way that you can kind of turn the tide of energy in a house where you feel like that it hasn't lifted to the degree that you want it to. I call it the burning bowl method, but what you need for this little clearing protocol is either a skillet or a Pyrex bowl, like one of the deep Pyrex bowls, like maybe a 4 to 6 inch bowl, and some either sea salt or Epsom salt and some alcohol. So you want like a teaspoon of alcohol and 2 teaspoons of Epsom salts, and you put your mixture in the bottom of your bowl. You also want to have on hand a fire blanket or a wet towel that you can throw over the mixture. And you need a long lighter to light your mixture. So you go into your room that feels like it's either occupied by an ugly spirit, or it just feels heavy, or it might feel sad, or just the energy does not feel right. This is a pretty extreme cure, but it's very powerful. But what you do is you take your bowl into the room and you just say a prayer and just let your heart talk that I intend the elements of fire, earth, air, and water to assist this spirit back into the light. And then you take your fire wand, make sure you have your fire blanket by you or your wet towel right beside you. And then you light the mixture in the bottom of your bowl. And usually it's going to be different in every room according to the degree of evil in the room. So if there is a lot of evil, then you're going to have like a little bit of a puff with your fire. So you want to make sure you're not real close to it. Like use a long fire stick and make sure there is no alcohol on your hands. And then you light your mixture. If there is not like a whole lot of negativity, then you're just going to have like a little flame, like maybe 2 or 3 inches, and it'll burn the salt. And what it does is it just absolves the negativity in the space. So that is one of the extreme protocols. If you feel like your room needs some extra help, you can make your own holy water and sprinkle it through the room. There's a lot of different ways that you can make some holy water, but one thing that I like to use is just like some spring water. And when you have a full moon, you can set out like a bowl of spring water and put a crystal in it and just ask that the moon infuse that water with the Holy Spirit for the purpose of protection for yourself and for your home. And then when you can just take that water and sprinkle it through your house. There are many ways you can do that. You can use your fingers, but the way that I was taught is to take a feather and just dip the very tip of the feather into the water and go into each of the corners of the room and just sprinkle it with the feather as one way to bring the healing qualities of the holy water into this space. And there are many, many different recipes to make a holy water or a cleansing water. You can also put sea salt in the water and let your salt dissolve, and then use that, sprinkle that through the house. That is one of the things that I do when I travel. And I'll usually, like whenever I'm having dinner, I'll get a couple of the salt packages if I don't have salt with me. And when I get to my hotel room, I'll just use the salt and mix it in just a little bit of water and sprinkle it all around my hotel room. And I also do a banishing prayer to banish all of the negative influences from anybody else that has been in that space. And that helps me to sleep better and to feel more like, the room is mine, and it's not being tainted by other people's negativity and their whatever stuff that they've got going on. So I'm not like sleeping in all of their stuff. So that's really important too. So I'm looking at my notes to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. All right. So if you have questions, it's fine if you want to email me or message me, and I'll see if I can answer your questions. If you don't know your power animals, send me your birthday and the month and the day, and I can send you back your 8 major power animals. So your birth totem, your clan animal, your spirit keeper, all of the major and the minor. So there's 8 of those. So if you want me to, just send me your birth information, and I'll send that to you. And let me see what else I wanted to. Just remember to trust your own instincts, because we're all an aspect of the divine mind. So each and every one of us have the ability to tap in to the Akashic records and to pull information and ideas that can help us adapt a healing protocol to whatever situation that we've got going on. And we want to do our best to stay in our heart center, because that keeps us grounded, and it keeps us from being triggered by the negativity and feeding it anymore. So I can see there's a message on there, but I can't read it. But anyhow, thank you for hopping on, Rose, and Melanie, and we see Kay. So I'm glad that you all can make it today. But it is, I think it's just important that we trust that, because we're an aspect of creation and the divine mind, and we're unique, that we can use a different approach or a little bit of a different way of moving whatever negativity that might be infused in our house. We just want to trust ourselves that we can do that, and we have a good reason to, and why we're doing what we're doing. Because when we have that grounding in why we're doing what we're doing, that we want our house to be ours, we want it to support us on all levels, we want all of the rooms to be livable and to be nurturing to us, where we can come for rest, rejuvenation, whatever it is, creativity. So it is our birthright to maintain our space. And unfortunately, sometimes the most powerful lessons that we learn about ourselves are whenever we have to engage with something this traumatic, and that really, it makes us kind of rise to the occasion and pull from ourselves more than we ever thought we could possibly pull out. And we do. And it is a learning curve. It's a learning curve for me every day. And but it's very rewarding. And for those of you that have had a traumatic situation like this, you just have to be gentle with yourself and really know why you're doing what you're doing. But you really have to come to peace, come to terms with, and that was funny that I had, whenever I said that, my computer gave a little kind of an affirmation beep. And I just think that's the angel's way of saying, yes, let's listen to this. But we really have to come to terms with the transition of those loved ones, and just know in our heart that we'll see them again, and do our best to send them into the light with our love. And that all by itself is going to like lessen the grip that if there is an evil entity involved, because they won't have as much of a hold, and they won't be able to trigger you or other members of the family. Our animals are particularly good at being able to spot evil. And so if you have, especially cats are very protective, and but dogs are too. So if your cat or your dog, if they like stare off into a room or a hallway, and they have like a little worried look on their face, then you want to kind of set some protocols in mind, or say some prayers, ask that your angelic team, that they help to shift the energy in the home, and that they infuse your house with love, with light, with high vibrational energy, and that they bless it with their presence. Make it a welcoming place for the angels, for the high vibrational beings, and it won't be comfortable for evil to come within. Just know there's all sorts of ways of clearing ugly spirits or evil entities. I use a protocol in the soul clearing that works with the archangels and is very powerful. But there's more ways than one to get something done. And being grounded is a particularly important part of this, is finding some ways to help you stay very grounded. And maybe before you do your clearing work, go outside, take a walk in nature. One of my teachers suggested that I weed in the flower bed before I did a clearing, to help me kind of get very down to earth and very grounded. So there are a lot of different techniques that you can use, visualization. I use minerals, like just put them in your pocket, in your bra, wear them around your neck. That is one way to help you to stay grounded and centered, and also feel confident that you're protected. So if you have any questions about the presentation, just send me an email and I'll be happy to help you out however I can. But just remember to keep lots of light and love in your personal space. And that's going to make it harder for ugly spirits to be able to get a toehold into your energy field. And if you feel like you've been compromised, and unfortunately a lot of times we're compromised by our love of our family and our friends, and we may be afraid for their safety, or usually fear opens up a big window of opportunity for ugly spirits to be able to come in and kind of weave their way into our life. So trust that each one of us have our own soul journey, and we also have our own team of angels to help us navigate our journey, even after the death of the physical body. So when you can pull on those resources, it helps you to feel not so all alone in the whole deal, and feel like it's final, that you can just trust that there is a continuity of life, and that you'll be able to connect to those people again. And that just helps to soften the energy in your personal space, but also in your house, so that it's not so charged. Anytime that it's charged with, especially, polarized in a negative way, then ugly spirits, they can manipulate it so that they can, take advantage of the whole negative situation by creating chaos in your life, creating anger, creating anxiety, all of those negative emotions. That is what evil entities, that's what they eat. That's what they thrive on. If the house is calm, play high vibrational music in it. Don't let people play rap music or low vibrational music, because that makes it more easy for an ugly spirit to be able to use the energy of the house and to invade that household. So you want to pay attention to it on an ongoing basis. And when the house energy feels flat or icky, the dogs or cats feel restless, or the children are having nightmares, or just avoid certain parts of the house, then you want to go in and update the energy of the house. I hope that this has helped you a lot. I've enjoyed having this talk with you, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot. I'm Marvina. Bye-bye. Thank you all for stopping by. Bye.